Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction, where you finally listen to album reviews. You can find our band interviews, and you can find live coverage of the concerts that we get. If I sound a little stuffed up, I'm going through allergies, so those of you who know, just know, and so that's why I sound a little bit stuffy. Also, I posted an album review of The Word of Lies, A Violent Noise, so check that out, and also a ton of interviews this week and into the next week as well, so definitely check those out if you are interested as well. But tonight, we're going to be talking about Parkway Drive's new record, Reverence. So I've been an on-again, off-again fan about Parkway Drive. I think that they are a really fantastic band. I really like sort of their older stuff, and Ire I really didn't feel as much. But I was listening to Wishing Wells and The Void and Pray, and I was just like, I have to do a review of this record. It sounds so much better than the previous one. Not to hark on that one, but I definitely enjoyed the singles, so I wanted to see if the album kind of reflected the same thing. So I'm going to go through each track, give you my thoughts and opinions on it, go through some pros and cons, and then finish it out with an overall rating. So the first track, like I mentioned, is Wishing Wells, and is the first single that they released. And it starts off with this cool acoustic guitar intro along with Winston's vocals. It kind of almost reminds me of like old Western films, which is really cool, and I just feel like his voice really kind of conveys the sort of dark and just like brutal vibes that you're going to be getting from this record. The song kind of kicks in around the minute mark with the just brutal guitars, Winston screaming, and just a bunch of other stuff. Just the rest of the instrumentation comes in as well. This one is super gnarly. I definitely enjoy this track a lot, even despite it being a single. I think it worked well as a single. I think it works even better on this record. Their instrumentation definitely pairs well with the more aggressive nature of the song, and I like that Winston has really kind of expanded his screaming range, allowing sort of more grittier high screams, and then just these brutal lows that really kind of transcend the song. I like the lead work a lot. I think it really brings out a lot of great moments throughout this song, but some standout moments that I feel like were really kind of made the song that much better were in the chorus and the pre-chorus. I think it is a great opener track, and it definitely brings the energy for sure. So we're gonna move into track number 2, which is Pray. This one's probably the most recent single that they had released off of this record. The intro has this very sort of Celtic vibe to it, almost Pirates of the Caribbean, Dropkick Murphys sort of feeling to it. Winston definitely has some interesting vocals going on in the verses. I feel like it's a scream, but it's also kind of a clean, it's almost like a yell. It's really kind of weird. If you listen to the song, you probably get what I mean by that. But this song is super catchy, and it's equally as heavy as the first one. I'd say maybe a little bit more toned back, but it's still definitely in that metal realm, which is sick. The song definitely has a unique bridge. It almost has a sort of spoken word part to it with these awesome soaring lead guitars that really kind of get into this super awesome breakdown. Definitely another favorite of mine as well off this record, without a doubt. So we're going to move into track number 3, which is Absolute Power. This one is much different than the previous two. This one has more of a dark, ominous undertone, probably more reminiscent of the first track, Wishing Wells, and the rhythmic changes in the verse are really cool. The dynamics really kind of stick out to me. More specifically, they have some really punchy moments, and more melodic moments as well. It's kind of a nice balance, and nice kind of 50-50 in the song. I like that the build on the bridge is just absolutely killer. It kind of really sets up the song for a nice drop towards the end. I definitely feel like a bit of a pause would have been just put the cherry on top, it would have just finished this track off in a better way. But definitely another really solid track, probably pretty close to my favorites. Maybe I have to give it a little bit more of a listen, but I definitely feel like it's top tier songs off the record. So we're gonna move into track number 4, which is Cemetery Bloom. This one is a really unique one. I think that a lot of people are gonna be taken aback by this one. It has almost a sort of movie-like quality to it. It has a really unique orchestral arrangement to it with the chanting vocals from Winston and the rest of the band. It really adds a lot of interesting depth to the track. However, I feel like it's not really entirely fleshed out, especially towards the end of the song. I was hoping for them to be kind of having this more crescendo moment towards the end of the song, just to kind of build into the void. I think that would have been better, and I think it would have just really kind of pushed the next song to that next level. However, I think it is a unique perspective. It offers you a little bit of a break, because the first 3 tracks are just kind of like in your face energy, and this one is definitely a little bit more reserved, and it definitely plays off more of their melodic sensibility. So we're gonna move into track number 5, which is The Void. This is the second single that was released, and it feels very much at home in Ire, their previous record. It has more of that hard rock sort of metal vibe to it. It definitely feels like a radio-esque track, and what I mean by that, it feels like it would fit, like hard rock or like metal radio, probably more like, Sirius and like Octane or something like that. I feel like it would fit this song. This song would fit on that station very well. And I definitely feel like singularly it does not sound too great, but however, I feel like with the record it definitely makes a lot more sense, and it definitely fits much better on the record for sure. I still have my same opinions about it, but I think it's definitely flows much better throughout the record than it is solely. Speaking about solos, there's this really cool guitar solo from the 2 minutes and 5 second mark to the 2 minutes and 35 second mark. About really solid track, but definitely not one of my favorites. So we're gonna move into track number 6, which is I Hope You Rot. This one has this really cool anthematic approach to it. The lead guitars really play a huge role in this song in particular, and just the dynamics of it. The pre-chorus is definitely cool with this back and forth of the screams and the cleans. I think that really works out and is definitely a standout portion of this track. The guitar work really is again a standout thing in this song, just from the rhythm to the leads. I think that they really carry awesome melodies throughout the track that would have definitely made this song maybe a little bit more lackluster, but I think that the guitar work definitely elevated this song to another level. So we're gonna move into track number 7, which is Shadow Boxing. This one features some cleans from Winston, which I'm pretty sure he hasn't done any cleans on previous records, which is super good and super crazy actually. But I like that they tried it. They just experimented and they did something different. I like this sort of softer opening with the piano. It kind of definitely starts off the song a little bit slow, but definitely kind of picks up after that. The vocal delivery is also really unique as well. Winston's kind of vocal phrasing is very reminiscent of like rap in a sense. It's very fast paced, and just the way he does it, I think it's very specific to not only this track, but just really unique and different, and I appreciate that for sure. I like that this one kind of adds, as the song progresses, it just kind of adds upon the previous sort of melody lines, and by the time you get to the end, it has this really cool orchestral feeling to it. Definitely their most experimental track, period, and as well on this record, without a doubt. I feel like they went through a lot of different boundaries on this one, and I personally feel like it works. It was really unique, and it combined great elements of like beauty and sort of heaviness that really just works. There's some awesome melodies, but again, there's some really sort of brutal moments throughout this track. It's definitely the black sheep of the record. It's one that I think I was definitely surprised about, and I'm not even like the biggest fan of Parkway Drive, so I couldn't even imagine what people think that have been fans of this band for a while. This one must have been interesting for them to listen to, but I definitely feel like it's a cool change of pace, and I definitely consider this to be one of my favorites off the record. So we're gonna move into track number 8, which is In Blood. I like the big sort of opening of this track. This one also has a great sort of orchestral element. I feel like that's a common thread throughout this record. And speaking about just orchestral things, I feel like it is kind of sprinkled more throughout this track. It's not just kind of at the forefront, but you can definitely hear that there are some parts where it kind of gets pulled out, and I like it. It has a great swing to it, and it's just well structured with both some really good high points and low points in the song that really just kind of make it interesting and unique. The breakdown at the end was primo. I loved it. Definitely one of my favorite breakdowns off the record. And this one's just solid through and through. It's definitely a favorite of mine just because there's no gimmicks behind it. It's very cut and dry. If you expect Parkway, especially like older stuff, I think more along the lines of like, Ire and Atlas. I mean, not like super old stuff, but definitely like more of those vibes. I feel like you'll definitely enjoy this track a lot. So we're gonna move into track number 9, which is Chronos. This one I was definitely really interested in hearing just because it's definitely more reserved than the previous tracks, being it a 6+ minute song. I feel like it held me for most of that time. However, I feel like the song would have benefited from a little bit more diversity, maybe some like interesting sort of rhythmic changes. Being a 6-minute song, I think that it's very hard for people to keep that attentiveness unless you're just a big fan of the band. It's just generally hard for bands to do that. I think that they could have made it unique. Of course, I think definitely the second half of this song is definitely the better half. I think even if they kind of cut it in half, it would have been better. But overall, I definitely enjoyed it. I think that they did a good job, again, considering it how long it is. So another really solid track off this record. So we're gonna finish it off with track number 10, which is The Color of Leaving. There's this really cool spoken word part towards the end that just Winston does, and it kind of I guess elaborates on the story lyrically of what's going on here, and just kind of comes full circle. The first part of this Wishing Well is very spoken word and just kind of like almost that Western sort of feeling to it, and this one kind of plays off that vibe but just finishes the record off in that way. And it's an interesting perspective change and one that I personally would gladly accept. I think it is unique, and I like what they did in the sort of storytelling aspect of this song. Good closing track and a good way to end off the record. So some pros and cons. Some pros vocally, I think Winston did a great job, not only with the cleans that he's newly added to his arsenal, but his screams sounded really phenomenal. Everything from the sort of really high screams to the really kind of low, brutal lows that you're expecting. Really heavy. I think it's probably one of their heaviest works to date. I think up there with maybe Atlas and Carrion. I feel like is definitely their heaviest work, but this one is definitely rivals some of their older stuff for sure. Orchestrally, I think that they did a lot of cool stuff with that. They had some great string sections, and they just had some really great moments where I feel like if they didn't have it would have lacked something, and I just appreciate that element to this record a lot. I think it really worked with what they were going for, and just well crafted songs. They've been around for such a long time, and I think that they have been able to kind of crack that formula of writing really heavy songs. Some songs just kind of more brutal and just in your face, and some songs that are just heavy but they're really damn catchy. So I definitely appreciate that from Parkway Drive, but that is not without any cons from this record. For me, I definitely didn't appreciate The Void. I felt like I could have lived without that song off the record. But overall, I think it is a solid track. I just don't particularly enjoy that one. I just didn't really feel it. And another thing is that just instrumentally, it's nothing groundbreaking. I never expect anything super insane from these guys. I think that they write heavy tunes and they write them well. I don't expect anything like super, guitar laden. I'm not expecting any sort of like crazy drum fills or bass solos or stuff from Winston. I think that they know what they do and they do it well, so I appreciate that immensely. But my overall rating for Parkway Drive's Reverence, I'm going to be giving it a 9.3 out of 10. I think it's one you should definitely go check out. It is really good. If I had to kind of rate this record, I think it's pretty close to their top records in my sort of top 10 of what, not top 10, I don't think they've had 10 records, but top records that they've written. It just has this memorability to it. It's got some heavy moments. It's got some really great melodic moments. And I think that Winston really kind of expanded his range and abilities as a vocalist. And just the rest of the band kind of followed that sort of train of thought. So definitely enjoyed this record. Go pick it up if you get the chance. It comes out yesterday, actually. So definitely pick it up if you get a chance to. They are also doing a U.S. tour with Stick to Your Guns and Bad Omens. So if you do live in the United States, go out and go see them. I will be extremely jealous of you because I will actually be seeing Underoath the same night. So definitely go check out this record. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Did you agree with me? Did you disagree? I'd love to have some opinions and conversations about this record. It's definitely one that I will pick up eventually. I think that it is one that I'd love to have in my collection. So if you enjoyed this review, please subscribe, please hit that thumbs up and hit that notification bell. We're really close to 1,000 subscribers, so if you could hit that subscribe button, I will be doing a giveaway at 1K. So definitely check back with the channel for that, and anything else that you might enjoy, definitely go do some digging. I really appreciate it. So my name is Brandon. We hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com, and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.